We're just not really into it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, whoever did. It's my first time actually trying to do all this kind of crazy casting, you know? I always see like all the pros do it. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. It's crazy. Oh my gosh! It looks like we have Nemu Cien coming into my studio. Let's get an interview with Nemu Cien right here, right now.
I'm fat.
Who says he's fat? Anyway, so anyways, we have Nemu Cien coming here for the interview. Anyways, yes, you're very excited to be on the stream. Alright, stop. Alright, anyways, first question. So, it looks like you really easily held there, and, you know, like, I don't really know if there's really that much to ask, considering they're all really bad. So, what was your game plan from the first PvP, and what did Hoid Ray do right, and what did he do wrong, and what were you actually expecting him to actually do?
Okay. What he did right was nothing. He had no warp gate technology. He had nothing. My game plan for the first one was to rush 4 gates as fast as possible. I managed to get it out within 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and he can't do anything about it because he went sentry first. And so I went for the timing that goes just before he'll get warp gate. I'll make it in. And then it pretty much just went from there. He was stupid and didn't force field my first 2 unit slots, so he lost 2 sentries.
Nemu Cien has really BM.
And then, no. I'm telling you the truth. He needs to force field his ramp. Even if it's 1 zone, 1 stalker, he had like a 10-hour delay in reaction. Making 2 sentries at the start is never a good idea with warp gates. That means you're pretty much opting for a 3-gate expo or something stupid like that in PvP, which is never good, especially in such close positions as that. It's the second closest position on Shadow Temple. So there's no reason you should do that. And then that's my game plan from game 1. He just pretty much died.
Yeah, that was actually really good. I actually saw that, and what I was thinking to myself was that he was actually going to go do like a 3-gate defend. But he really didn't even put up any gates. He didn't even have his warp gates done. And when you killed that warp gate at that cybernetics core, when you killed it off at that pylon, you know that warp gate tech was like two seconds basically from completing.
Yeah, that's why you always target the pylons first, because even if you allow warp gates to be finished and you target the pylons, you won't be able to warp in anything. In other words, you win anyway. And then for the second game, basically, in the beginning, I noticed we were close position, so I didn't go for anything like a 1 Rax Expo or anything like that. So I didn't play too greedily. What I did was I made a small force, and at the beginning, with my beginning searching SCV, I noticed he had quite a couple of sentries, so that pretty much hinted me he was doing something with those money. So that means he's probably doing an Expo or something, Fast Expo. So that's why I sent out a small squad of like 4 Marauders, 3 Marines into his base, and then that pretty much scares him. And so then, since he's scared and he makes a whole bunch of pointless units while I just sit there and make a bunker, you can't really do jack squat. And then I make a command center, and then that pretty much helps me secure my expansion. And at the cost of losing nothing, I pretty much pressure him and he can't do anything about it. And then from then on, I was already ahead economically, I was ahead in everything. And then when I did a 2 dropship play, I managed to snipe his robotics facility, and that put him really far behind in tech because that would delay his Colossus, it would delay everything about him. So then when I scanned him a little while later to plan for my next drop, I pretty much knew that he only had like 10 sentries and 1 zealot, and that's it. So that's why I could pretty much just take the commanding lead from then on, just dropping over and over just to like annoy him. And then again, because of my drop, I also have a sense of what army he has, which also enabled me to take my 3rd out really early into the game, 10 minutes in. And taking a 3rd at that location, the top left, that's very dangerous in close positions on Shadow Temple. But anyway, I did it anyway, because I already knew I was so far ahead in that point, the game was pretty much mine. At one point when it looked like he was breaking into my base and looks like he was going to win, all he really did was just open himself to die by my army to the far right.
Right.
The first thing he should do is either send some unit to the watchtower before he pushes out.
Exactly.
Because if he could scout it and he engaged it frontal, like forward, he
lost.
probably could have taken my force. But thing is, he didn't, which really enabled me to snipe his Colossus in the beginning. And then, since I sniped his Colossus, the rest of his army just melts.
Exactly. You actually sniped the Colossus quite fast, and then and one of the most rarest things I've ever seen, you one-shotted a Colossus.
Yes, and then also, I was way ahead in upgrades. I had 3-3 coming in at 18 minutes of the game, which is very, very early for Terran.
That's too early, to be honest.
And then, because I already knew I had such an economic lead, I could do pretty much whatever I wanted. And then so, from then on out, it was just pretty straightforward. I just steamrolled his army, and I just moved into his base and pretty much killed the building.
Yeah, so that was really good. What do you think of Terran as a race now? I saw some good comments that you guys had at the very end.
Oh yeah, Terran is overpowered. It's a race that requires pretty much like no skill to play. All you really need is just 2 medevac and 16 Marines or 2 Marauders and whatever the heck. And as long as you just fill up those medevacs, you can pretty much just do whatever you want. It's really, Terran is just too like, they're harass oriented, and they're also and the harass oriented stuff also pretty much associates and helps their ground army in general. So medevacs, in my opinion, are just pretty broken right now. And then on top of that, they have just too many hard counters to Protoss, such as Vikings for the Colossus or Ghosts for anything else. And I didn't even need any of the specialist units because I already countered all of his techs through my drops. And I had a clear vision on what he had the whole game. So not at one point in the game did I feel pressured that he was going to do something.
Okay, NemuCN, final question. So if Terran is so OP, then why is Zerg also doing so well right now? And what do you think needs to be done in particular about Terran Ghost EMP, if it needs to be changed at all?
Ghost EMP has an unreasonable range. Its range is huge, and it's pretty much it pretty much serves as DPS, and it serves as energy neutralizer against Protoss. So I'd say EMP is pretty broken against Protoss, not even gonna lie. Second of all, for Zerg not being that powerful, right now it's just that the game, the Terran players in the game have just figured out some like new things. They're just like metagaming Zerg and Protoss hardcore. That's why there's like 20 Terrans in the GSL, and there's like 2 Zergs and like 2 Protoss. But I still have my hopes on Nesty, so it's okay.
Interesting. Well, thank you very much, NemuCN of Clan Nemu. He is the most awesome, and he wins. And you know, this has been Loveholic. I'm gangster as shit. I'll see you guys soon, and thanks for tuning in.